Welcome back to Marysville-Pilchuck High School, home of the Tomahawks, home of the District 1 4A boys and girls semifinals, a quadruple header today, and we're heading into the third game of the afternoon. Greetings, everyone. My name is Steve Willits, along with Joel Boyer and Ron the Wedge Henthorn, as well as Todd Elvick, the five-tool player. We will be bringing you the third of four games today, the second of two girls' games. The Glacier Peak Grizzlies earlier punching their ticket into the district championship game with a 74-31 win over Monroe. And now we await to see who their opponent is going to be. It will be one of these two teams. It will be either the top-seeded Lake Stevens Vikings coming into the game with a record of 13-1 in conference, 17-3 overall, and they will take on the Mariner Marauders, a team that's not used to being here, a team that over the last few years, well, they're 13-8 this year. However, last year they were 8-14, 8-14 the year before as well, 4-17 the year before that. The Marauders, led by a couple of strong seniors as well as a freshman who is the player of the future. And we're going to get to the starting lineups here momentarily as the public address announcer starts to read them. We'll go ahead and just go through them on our own here, starting with the Marauders. Number one, Denisa Grebovic. She's a 5'6" senior point guard, 4-year starter for the Marauders. She's had a very nice career there for Mariner. The next starter is a freshman at number 20, Talia Clark. She's 5'10". She does not play like a freshman, averaging more than 20 points per game this season, and she will definitely be a player to watch. Number 22 is Lena Gonzalez, a 5'3" senior. Hannah Hezekiah, number 23, is a 5'7" senior. Hezekiah scoring 29 points the other night in Mariners' 56-38 victory over Jackson. And then she's also a 4-year starter. Rounding out the starting lineup for the Marauders, number 34, Nia Hawkins. She's a 5'10" senior post player. And now we flip over and talk about the Wesco 4A champions through the regular season, a team that is expected by many to be the favorite to win this district tournament. Their starting lineup for the Vikings, number 10, Lacey Taylor. She's a 5'7" senior. Another Taylor, but with a first name, Taylor Smith, number 14, is a 5'7" senior, also in the backcourt. Reagan Reed, a 5'6" sophomore. She's been a strong player for the Vikings ever since her freshman year when she was also a starter. She wears the number 22. Anna Johansson is a 5'11" senior wearing the number 24. And then last but certainly not least, number 34, Kylie Griffin, 6'2" senior, averaging close to 20 points per game. She's already committed, and there she is right there. She's already committed to playing basketball next year for Gonzaga University. But first she's got some business at hand here for the home team Vikings. And we're going to stand right now and represent our country with the national anthem. We've got two bands here, so we'll see which one is going to, in fact, play the anthem. Brought to you by Lake Stevens High School. Outstanding rendition of the national anthem brought to you by Lake Stevens High School. They're in one end zone, the Mariner Marauder Band in the other end zone. The feeling is electric. These teams are ready to play. On paper, it has a little bit of a David versus Goliath feel to it. But this is a strong Mariner Marauder team that won by 18 the other night to get here over a very tough Jackson team. And Joel Boyer, I have a feeling that Mariner is not just happy to be here.
No, I mean, Mariner, obviously, they're excited to be here. They want to be here. This place is rocking already, these two bands. I'm loving it already. But let's be honest, this is the third time these two schools have met this year. Both of them were convincing wins by Lake Stevens Vikings. You want to see that early energy from Mariner. They're going to have to withstand kind of the storm, but look for Lake Stevens to really go to Kylie Griffin early on and see if they can dominate the paint.
Two games that took place earlier. January 3rd, really a one-sided affair, 62-30 final. The game on January 26th, a bit closer, 69-50. And as you mentioned, both of which were dominated by the Vikings. Vikings wearing the home white uniforms. They win the tip, and they will take the offensive side of things for the first possession of the game. Reagan Reed up top. Over to Taylor Smith down low, finding a cutting player. That shot is missed. That was Johansson on the attempt. Into the corner, Taylor Smith, three ball. Bounces around, Gribovic grabs the rebound, Mariner with the possession.
Now, Kylie Griffin being the player that she is, being a top 50 player in the country, being going to Gonzaga, she's obviously seen a lot of junk defenses thrown at her, and already the Mariner Marauders going to a box and one with one player just guarding her solely. Her whole job is to keep her away from the basketball.
Hezekiah over to Gribovic, both four-year starters. And there's the freshman right there, Talia Clark. I was going to say she's going to be a player one of these days. She's already a player. Hezekiah, long three off the backboard, misses the rim entirely. Shot clock went off, but they said that Lake Stevens already had the basketball. Reagan Reed, long three, bounces around. We're still looking for our first points as the first minute has eclipsed. Griffin touching the ball for the first time. Kicking it into the quarter. Taylor Smith back to Griffin. She cannot get the ball to go in. Johansson goes right back up. Still yet to have a field goal, but she does draw the foul, and she'll head to the line for two.
You know, Lake Stevens, and like we talked about just a second ago, I was saying about how Kylie Griffin's going to see a lot of different defenses. She has this year, she has last year being a dominant player, but her teammates, they're a well-rounded team. She's obviously the crown jewel of it, but you look at the rest of the teammates around her, they're used to this kind of stuff. They practice this kind of stuff. Coach Randy Edens, I promise you, is running through these things at practice. How do we defeat a box in one? How do we defeat a diamond in one? That kind of stuff. So the other players understand, and Kylie Griffin's going to have a great understanding about how do I get my teammates open when I'm being taken away and let them score and be the unselfish player to let us get a lead without me having to touch the basketball every time.
Johansson hits the first free throw. A minute 12 into the game, we have our first point. Referees today, Riaz Kanji, Pat Kaminsky, and Mark Hedges. Second free throw attempt is missed. And Kylie Griffin grabs the offensive board, goes right back up with it. First of what might be many points tonight for Griffin. 3-0 lead, Lake Stevens with a minute and a half gone.
And it will be interesting to see, Ron, how the freshman Talia Clark for Mariner, who's being checked by Kylie Griffin, to see how she's able to operate when she's got a longer, more experienced player guarding her.
That will be interesting because she's going to get some education here tonight as well. But she played a great game last night, the other game. So.
Oh, boy.
Nice to have Kylie Griffin when the ball gets stuck in the rim, huh?
I think I've only seen that one other time in high school girls basketball when the girl can go up and get the ball when it's stuck up in the rim like that.
Anna Hezekiah with the underhanded shot. He gets stuck in the rim, and I thought they were going to need a basketball to get it pried loose. And Kylie Griffin says, no need for that. I've got this.
You know, the last time I saw it, the only other girl I've been able to see do that was a female at Snohomish High School a few years back named Jessica Yates, who was a triple jumper at State and had the ability to go out and play basketball and go get the ball out as well.
Talia Clark, three-point shot, misses.
I think she was on the line, but it was close to a three-point shot.
Either way, it's a missed shot. Still looking for their first points are the Marauders. Reagan Reed pulls up, front of the free throw line, kicks it over to Taylor Smith. Shot is up, a little bit short. Rebound comes down to Gonzalez. Low-scoring game here so far as we've played 2 minutes and 20 seconds in. Lake Stevens with the early 3-0 lead. Winner to advance and play Glacier Peak in the district championship game on Thursday night. 6 p.m. start time over at Everett Community College. Gribovic looks to drive into the lane, gets the ball knocked away. Here comes Reagan Reed, 2-on-2. Reed going from left to right, underhand layup, gets it to fall.
Great decision by Reed right there, really pushing the basketball, looking at her running mate right there, but just couldn't find an opening to get it to her, cut back to her right hand. Nice scoop and score.
Corey Gibb, the coach for Mariner, decides he wants to take a quick break. 30-second timeout called. We'll keep it right here. And I've got to think if you're Coach Gibb, you just want to get everybody together, composed, and just say, hey, it's still early. Let's calm down a little bit and run the offense the way we expect to, right?
Well, and for Lake Stevens, they have a lot of offense in that team, but they're a good defensive team too. They're really working hard right there. Mariners run a 5-out kind of look right there with all players in the perimeter. But Lake Stevens isn't biting into that. They really have help defense in the middle of the key, creating, negating those driving lanes for Hezekiah or Grebovic. So it'll be interesting to see how they can remedy that situation for Corey Gibb.
Randy Eaton's talking to one of the refs right now. I'm not sure what that's related to. We've only had one foul called so far, a fairly clean game. And that was against Hezekiah.
I can promise you it's about not the last call, but probably the next call he's trying to influence. Good coaches know you're not going to get back the call that's already made, but you might influence the next one and look to see if they're setting some illegal screens or things such of that nature.
The bug is now into his ear. Hezekiah underhand layup, beautifully done, and she is on the board, as are the Marauders. 5-2 score.
And Hannah Hezekiah has had an incredible 4-year career for Mariner. When she was a freshman, it was, her and Grebovic were the only ones that, you really felt like they had a nose for the game and understanding of how to get the ball in the bucket. But they were still freshmen. Where you look at now how far they've come, they're very seasoned players now. That their offense has really blossomed and allowed this Mariner Marauder team to have a winning record and be in the playoffs here in this semifinal game.
Kylie Griffin getting her second bucket of the afternoon, 7-2. And you're right, when they were freshmen, I don't have the exact numbers here, but they were about 80% of the Marauder offense that year, both averaging right around 20 points per game. Clark misses the shot, long one. Scramble for the rebound. Gets pushed around a little bit. Randy Eaton's trying to get in there to call a timeout, but his player didn't have it. They're going to say jump ball.
Held ball.
Held ball. Possession arrow to Lake Stevens.
Hard to get away from saying jump ball, isn't it?
It is. Either way it works, right?
Same thing happens, but
Lake Stevens with the possession. Taylor Smith gets it back to Reed. She and Smith playing a little catch there. Finally get it over to Johansson. She misses the shot. Nice rebound for Hezekiah.
Mariner wanting to get out and run if they can. See if they can't catch Lake Stevens napping a little bit, not getting back on defense. Good job by the Vikings making sure they're back in time.
That's Uni Septimo Ruiz, number 2, who checked into the game during the last timeout. Setting a screen there at the top of the key. Gonzalez, long shot. Rims around, falls off, scramble for it, and we're going to get yet another jump ball, I believe.
Another non-jump ball.
Another possession arrow change, if you will.
I'll get you right many times.
You're trying. You're trying. We get a check-in for the game here as Savannah Smith, number 12, checks in for the Vikings. Shot goes up, hits off the back iron, bounces around, and finally coming away with it is Lacey Taylor. She pushes forward. Reed, right side, thought about a 3, drives towards the lane, puts it up, misses it. Kylie Griffin there with the rebound, goes straight back up, draws contact, and number 44 will head to the line to shoot 2.
Ruiz might get that one. Yep.
Reagan Reed, as a sophomore this year for the Vikings, is really, last year's a freshman, really had a dynamic year when you look at numbers-wise, but still was a freshman and still had some of those turnovers, those moments, and those freshman moments where Coach Randy Eanes, you're kind of gritting your teeth saying she's going to mature, she's going to get there. And it's really exciting to see. It's fun to watch the maturation of players, Reagan Reed in particular right now, to see just how much more confident she is within the system of her team and within the system of Lake Stevens High School basketball. So props to her for really improving and growing as a teammate, not just as an individual impressive athlete.
Talia Clark towards the basket, puts up a 10-foot shot, misses it. Coming away with the rebound, it's number 42, Melanie Galinano, checking into the game a minute ago for the first time. And you're absolutely right. You see it in the WNBA. You see it in the NBA at the college level. So many times a team will have one quote-unquote superstar type of a player, and until they get that complementary player to go with them, it just doesn't quite have the same chemistry and feel for them in terms of having team success. Reed certainly enabled them to do that. Griffin, shoulder of the free throw line, misses it. Right back to Griffin, misses yet another shot, keeps getting boards, goes right back up, lays it up and in. She now has 8 points here in the first quarter, and the Vikings are out to an 11-2 lead.
We talked a little bit about last game with that Monroe Camiat game for the boys. It's just that you have teams kind of the haves and the have-nots, and I'll tell you, Kylie Griffin is definitely one of those people who is a have. She has an innate ability to go up and miss that shot, not hang her head, but to go get an offensive rebound, miss, offensive rebound, score it. She just has a high motor. Gonzaga Bulldogs are going to be very excited to have her next year and the next 3 years after that even.
Number 42, Galani, picking up her first foul. First team foul against the Vikings here with 2:17 to go in the first quarter. Hezekiah, a little push-off, drops back. Long two ball, gets it to fall. Hannah Hezekiah with, no, they're going to say it was a
They're
three.
going to give her a three on that. I thought she was both feet in the red there in that inner portion of the three-point line, but no one asked me, Steve.
Hey, why not? I can guarantee you she was not beyond the line. We had it right in front of us here. Either way, they're going to give her a three, and Hannah's not going to turn it down. And we get yet another three on the other end. This time, no doubt about it, Reagan Reed stepping back. She now has 5 points in the first quarter, 14-5 score. And Hezekiah, fortunately, her momentum taking her out of bounds is, I think Talia Clark would like that pass over again, just let her a little bit too close to that sideline. Vikings once again on offense, looking to build upon a 14-5 lead. Savannah Smith swings it over to Reed. Reed going cross court, a little bit too high and not able to come up with it. That's Sarah Dominic. Dominic doing a nice job to try to save it before it went out, but could not do so. And Mariner will take over with 1:27 to go here in the first.
Mariner staying in this game, even though it was a 9-point difference here. Not a big thing at this point.
Grabovic to Clark. Clark putting a fake move on, finally dribbles over to the right, gets it over to the hot shooting Hezekiah into the lane, underhand scoop. Doesn't get the basket, but does get contact, and Hezekiah keeping the hot-handed ways going here apparently, or at least the scoring ways. Again, we mentioned she had 29 the other night, and she's got a chance to put up her 6th and 7 points here in the first quarter. Foul will be called on Johansson, her first.
Hezekiah has that natural ability, had it since she was her freshman year, to get into the lane, and whether or not there's an open look or not, she's going to get that ball up towards the hoop and see if she either can't get to the free throw line or maybe get lucky and get that ball to roll in.
It's both shots to fall. All 7 of the Marauder points coming from number 23 thus far. Keeping them in the game at this point, 14-7. Reed pulls up for another three, hits it again! The sophomore catching fire here early. 8 points in the first period, matching her teammate Griffin. 2 of them with 16 of the 17 Viking points. Now down under a minute to go. 43 seconds remaining in the first period. Hezekiah one more time.
Like you said, she's going to go to the basket and throw that ball up there.
Well, Pat Kaminsky says there's enough contact, in my opinion, to warrant some free throws. Hezekiah back to the line. And, this really is, Steve, Ron, this is really the game plan for Corey Gibb is, we're not going to probably be able to stop Kylie Griffin. We're going to try to slow her down. It's going to be hard to stop Reagan Reed, but can you stop us from getting to the free throw line? And that's going to be a big deal for the Vikings. Make sure they don't get too many fouls called on them, too many opportunities for Hezekiah to get to the free throw line and see if she can't do some damage there.
Hezekiah going 1 of 2. 17-8 is our score. Hezekiah, Reed, and Griffin scoring 24 of the 25 points combined in this game thus far. Dominic looking to change that. She drives into the lane, floats it up, and gets it to fall. Sarah Dominic, the 5'6" junior. Sister Anna was on this team last year, getting a lot of playing time. 19-8 is our score. We're now down at the 10-second mark. Hawkins down low, tries to spin, puts up a shot. Galani blocks it. We're down to 4 seconds remaining. Dominic out on the wing. 2-1, fires it up, leaves it short, and that will be the end of the first quarter. A quarter the Vikings are feeling pretty good about. The number 1 seed in control right now, 19-8. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to the second quarter of action. You're watching STSPN.com. Welcome back to Marysville Pilchuck High School. Steve Willits, Joel Boyer, Ron Henthorn, Todd Elvick. The second of the two District 1 4A girls semifinal basketball games. Lake Stevens Vikings in control early with a 19-8 lead. Looking for more here early second quarter. Kylie Griffin missing the first shot. Hannah Hezekiah, who has all 8 Marauder points thus far, dishing the ball off to Talia Clark. The freshman looking to go lane. Fires one up high off the backboard. Doesn't catch any rim. Does catch the hands of Kylie Griffin on the way down. Comes away with the board and draws a foul in the process.
She got fouled on that shot. She didn't get called on that. Probably didn't like that.
That might be why she showed a little frustration as Talia Clark.
You think that's why?
The shot misser there goes in there and draws contact.
We usually call that a freshman mistake.
She doesn't make very many freshman mistakes. She doesn't play like a freshman, that's for sure. Did that time, though, didn't she?
She doesn't score like a freshman, but she still makes freshman mistakes.
Fair enough. Savannah Smith, long three ball. The junior missing everything, firing it over the rim. Grebovic, who really has been able to play more of a true point guard role now, her senior year, more so than in years past. Pass is intercepted. Here come the Vikings. Down on the other end, nice shot. Unfortunately, not a nice result. Over the top once again. Rebounded by Anna Johansson, and she's going to know that. We're going to say, what are they going to say?
You're going to call a jump ball right there, a held ball, if you will.
There we go. Not a jump ball, a held ball.
I thought that was going to be a foul on Gonzalez.
I did too. I thought the whistle blew and that's where the referees were headed, but they say no, it's...
She had her hand all over her.
In fact, a held ball. 19-8. Still looking for our first points here in the second quarter. Third matchup between these two teams this year. Vikings winning both of the others. A win puts them into the championship. A loss for Mariner puts them into the consolation bracket. There you go, Hannah Hezekiah. El Fuego. All 10 Marauder points, hitting yet another long shot, Joel.
Oh, Hannah Hezekiah, she has the innate ability to score. She's one of those players that I respectfully and commendingly so say it's an old man game, where she has the ability to get inside, to off-foot things, to Euro step through things, to pull up for that mid-range jumper and put things down. She's just a very talented player with an array and quite a quiver of arrows of offensive moves. So,
boy, we called Talia Clark out for a freshman mistake a couple minutes ago. That might have been one there, too. I'm not sure that ball wasn't going out of bounds off of Lake Stevens, and Talia stuck her hand out there and tried to save it inbounds.
You never want to save the ball underneath the basket of your own defensive basket, because anytime you do that, it could end up in the hands of an offensive player, and they pop it in for an easy two.
She was looking to get that to Daisha Kim, the 5'4" sophomore wearing the number 4.
Oh, you're going to get Hannah for a foul there.
And in fact, they are Hezekiah becoming the first player in this game for either team to pick up a second foul. And that comes at the 5:55 mark here, remaining in the second quarter.
She's not the one you want to be getting fouled.
No, indeed not. Well, she has all your points, and they're going to get Griffin for a travel here.
Oh, I think that travel was affected by a couple hands on her arm possibly, but
one of which might have been Hezekiah. That was close to a third foul.
It sure was. A little too close for Coach Corey Gibbs' liking, that's for sure.
19-10 is our score. Kim, 3 ball up in the air. We've seen a lot of the over-the-top threes today from both sides. That one misses everything again. Lake Stevens able to retrieve it. Reagan Reed, she's already hit 2 threes, looking for another. Leaves this one a bit short. Nice hustle by Hawkins. Daisha Kim.
That's one of those possessions, as Coach Randy Eanes is probably thinking, I think you just said something to Reagan Reed right there. You're talented, you've hit 2, but in the offense, get your feet set, kid. You can hit those shots, but it's hard to off the bounce, and you're coming back on a step back. Pretty tough shot to hit.
Hezekiah trying to go up underneath, misses the shot. Hawkins also misses one. Hezekiah gets it back. Kylie Griffin just reaches her hands over and says, I'll take that, thank you very much. Tries to scoop a pass over to teammate Lacey Taylor. Sails out of bounds, and Mariner will once again have the basketball.
And that's one of those moments. Kylie Griffin wants to get that ball and start the break, but you know what? Sometimes if you can't find the handle on it, just grab the handle and hold on to it. Just possess the ball. Get a possession out of that guy.
Uni Septimo Ruiz will check back into the game for Mariner as Nia Hawkins takes a seat on the bench.
By the way, I don't want to overlook the fact that you pronounced it, I think, exceptionally well right there.
I tried. Every once in a while. Did PA for a few Mariner games this year during the holiday tournament, so got a chance to see the team a little bit. One name I can pronounce, Kylie Griffin kicks it ahead. Reagan Reed, easy bucket. The recipient of a nice pass from number 44. Give Griffin the steal, give her an assist as well, and give Reagan Reed 2 more points. She now has 10. Hezekiah, open look if she wanted it, decides not to. Talia Clark, still looking to get on the board tonight. Kicks it over to Kim with another 3. This time at least she got rim, but misses yet another shot. Griffin, one more time to Reed. It worked last time. Let's do it again. Reagan Reed with 12 points.
That's a great job by specifically Kylie Griffin, getting that ball, securing the handle those 2 times, and instantly getting her eyes up court to see who's streaking on the court. Reagan Reed both times. It's pretty nice when you got a 6'3" post on your side. You know who's going to get that rebound. You can take off and release a little bit early on those.
So Leah Clark, one more time, goes up, puts up a shot, and we'll head to the line. Noticing a handful of Glacier Peak players there on the sideline. You can almost catch them on our camera there as they're out by the 3-point line. I think they're watching this game fairly attentively, even though they obviously know both of these teams haven't played them twice. But
absolutely. You definitely want to see what's going on, and you want to see who you're going to be playing, and just kind of the perspective of both teams. And, yeah, absolutely.
Picking up a rather easy victory in the first game is Talia Clark, missing the free throw attempt.
She is not contributing on the scoring side of things yet for this team as she normally does.
Nor has anybody else on the team other than Hannah so far. All 10 of the points as number 40, Tiana Wynn, checks into the game, the 5'7" sophomore guard wearing the number 40. Clark can now consider herself a scorer. Scores the first point of the game. First non-Hezekiah point, 23-11. Lake Stevens advantage, 3:37 to go in the second quarter. Reagan Reed looking for more, goes in hard. Gets bailed out, potentially, said Joel Boyer. Anything you want to add? I see you shaking your head there.
Nope, I think you nailed it.
She going to go to the line on that?
Both teams using the bailout today, right, Joel?
I
didn't think
it's like the government stepping in here for them.
It feels like, and Reagan Reed, Hannah Hezekiah, both great scorers. We're not taking anything away from them, but that is an aspect of the game that it really just bothers me a lot, is that I want to see you stay on your feet. If there's a bump, there's contact, why don't you just go finish the play? When there's not any referees on the playground, you just got to finish it anyway. So,
as a coach, though, if the refs are going to call it, you tell them to keep going, right?
No.
No, really? You don't want the fouls?
The fouls are great, but I want to see you stay on your feet.
30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. Go ahead.
Don't fall to the floor. Don't take yourself. When you do that, you start taking yourself out of possessions. And if you don't get the call there, well, now it could be a fast break going the other way on a 5-on-4. So it's kind of like keep your feet as best you can. Stay on your feet. If you get bumped and you get hit to the floor, it absolutely happens. But it's just kind of one of those, like, the more balance. There's also more injuries the more times you get to hit the deck. So I'd prefer to see my players stay on their 2 feet, and if they get a call, great. If not, so be it. But I do like the aggression of attacking the rim, attacking into the lane. If you get foul calls that way, absolutely. Let's stay on your feet when you can.
We'll see if they continue to hit the ground. So we get up and running again here. Reagan Reed, by the way, 14 points here in the first half. She had 8 in the opening quarter, 6 here in the second. We still have 3:28 to play.
Oh, boy.
14 is also the point differential now between the two teams.
Lake Stevens going to a 1-3-1 trap, and when you put Kylie Griffin in the top, she's 6'3", and I bet her wingspan's more closer to 6'8" or 6'9", probably.
Uses that wingspan to get her own board, puts it back in. Griffin now with 10 points. Not a bad how do you do for Samaya Moore, and she checks into the game, and immediately that trap leads to a steal for her.
Oh, man. Well, and that's just long to throw over for anybody. But Kylie Griffin is long, and she's very she's got good up. She can explode to the ball, so those are a lot of fingertips you're having to throw over.
Morin just added another stat. She grabs a rebound. And speaking of stats, Taylor Smith gets on the board for the first time tonight. Nice little floater along the left side of the baseline. 29-11. Lake Stevens with their largest lead of the afternoon.
Taylor Smith, a real good, solid player for the Vikings, a senior that has gone through the program, been a program kid, and has got a few minutes last year in games as a junior, but really stuck with it, really toiled through it, and really excited to see her starting and having such a contributing role in this year's team as a senior. Great job by her.
Samaya Morin adding another stat, this time a foul. She's going to send Talia Clark to the line for 2. Clark 1 for 2 already today. Make that 1 for 3. That one had a good look, just spun around and popped right back out.
Too much spin on that ball.
Spin's good in bowling, not so good in basketball, right?
There's a few times to spin. If you have some backspin on your shot, that's not too bad. Some side spin like that one.
Not so much.
Not so much.
No spin on that one. Nothing but net. 29-12 score. Clark still looking for her first field goal of the game. Only 3 field goals total for Mariner. Team that does have more than 3, Lake Stevens, and a player who has more than that, Reagan Reed. Give her 16 points now for the afternoon, 31-12. All Lake Stevens here in the first half.
The Reagan Reed, Kylie Griffin show so far.
And Hezekiah looking to add to it. She misses. Septima Ruiz with a miss. Hezekiah with an offensive board. Yet again goes up for the third shot for her in this possession. And this time she draws contact. And Hezekiah, for the third time this afternoon, will head to the free throw line.
She stayed on her feet right there.
There you go.
She missed the first one, stayed on her feet, got her second one, got to the free throw line.
Coach Joel Boyer likes that.
That's a great job by Hezekiah, though. Following her missed three-point attempt, getting in the lane, getting her on rebound, getting her missed shot, getting back up. It's just a really way to stay with the hoop, stay with the basketball, and really attack the hoop.
5'10" junior Kaylee Bracey, number 40, checking in for the first time today for Lake Stevens. Second free throw attempt is good. Hezekiah now 5 for 6 on the day. All but 2 of those points belong to her. She has 12. Reagan Reed with a hot hand. She figures I'll throw up anything and get it to go. However, this one does not go in. And I can see Coach Boyer up here cringing as once a coach, always a coach, right, Joel?
Well, those moments when you got to remember, hey, you got probably the best post in the
in the league user.
The league for sure. We can even go bigger than that possibly, but one of those greats. You know, you're running that off that double high screen right there, that mini stack. You let the action kind of come to you. I'd like to see her kind of let it come back through a little bit. She's a hot hand.
I'm going to defend the sophomore again. She got to the free throw line. And look she made 2 points. You get the same results, and you draw a foul on your opponent, right? Why not?
That's one way to look at it.
And
number
she's
40
leading scorer so far, too, I think.
Yeah, when you're hot, you're hot.
That's another way to look at it.
18 points for Reed, 33-14 score. That was Wynn's first foul. Both teams with 6. Another foul will put them each into the bonus.
Ooh, nice steal by Reed right there. Reading the basketball on the wing.
Open layup, gets it to go. A steal off of an errant pass. Reagan ready for it. Picked it off and picks up point number 19 and 20 there.
And that is something about Reagan's game, is just a high motor. Really going to the hoop a lot, really going to the basketball, flying around.
Nice job by Moore, and gets her hands on it, pushes it ahead. Kylie Griffin high off the glass. Draws contact, and she'll step to the line for 2.
I'm surprised she didn't actually make that one with her size against that going in there. She didn't have to go in quite that hard.
But she kept her feet.
Absolutely. Maybe go off 2 feet next time, right?
And if you're Kylie, you want to keep your feet anyway. When you want to keep yourself healthy, you've got a nice career ahead of you. Certainly a lot of work to be done here. She hopes for the Vikings, but she'll be heading off to the eastern side of the state next year and playing for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely. It's a great job keeping in-state talent in-state by the Bulldogs. And Kylie Griffin hopes she's playing on March 3rd, the final day of the high school basketball season in the state of Washington. If she is, she'll be taking home a trophy to Lake Stevens.
Well, they got a good shot at it.
37-14 score. Better shot of even winning this game as Reed does a nice job to keep it inbounds, dives for the loose ball. Talia Clark comes up with it, kicks it ahead to Grebovic, to Hezekiah.
Nice heads up by Clark by passing the ball instead of getting called for traveling down.
Underhand layup misses. Hezekiah tries to go back up. Ball squirts loose. Reagan Reed grabs it one more time.
There's a lot of contact in there that's not getting called.
Letting them play as it went both ways on that particular incident. Reed was very close, by the way, to coming away with yet another open look layup. This time she fires up a 3, leaves it short. Morin saves it inbounds, but right to one of the opposing players. That's Talia Clark. Now down to 26 seconds left in the half. Clark, high off the glass, hits the front of the rim a couple times, misses. Guess who? Reagan Reed pushing. Doesn't have numbers, but she's going to outrun the defense. Puts it up. Count the basket. She's going to the line.
God,
unbelievable. Lena Gonzalez able to outrun her. Lena staying on her back heel, though. Pushes her as she goes into the basket. Count the basket, and she'll try for the three-point play.
You know, with the Olympics right now going on, I'd say that was a pretty nice 9.5 somersault to finish off that play as well.
22 points, guys.
She stuck the fall, didn't she?
Absolutely.
And she misses that.
That is quite the motor she has. And she's been able to get out in those passing lanes, and I think that's her fourth bucket that she's had on as a breakaway, getting out ahead of the defense or getting a steal up top.
She had to outrun the defense that time. Hezekiah with another 3. Makes it a 39-17 game. There's the buzzer. And we've come to the end of the first half of play. A play that has been dominated by the Lake Stevens Vikings. They lead 39-17. Time for us to take a break. You are watching STSPN.com. And here we go, getting ready for the second half of action. Lake Stevens Vikings basketball team, not the only thing that's on fire right now. How about that band? Little Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Ron Henthorne, right up your alley, right?
Oh, I love that quiet band.
That's good. The Lake Stevens band, we got the Mariner band in both the end zones.
And we got the Mariner Marauders coming out here trying to figure out how to get back in this ball game. It's going to be tough to do.
Do it here, down 39-17 as Kylie Griffin spins her way into the lane and will head to the free throw line. How are we doing for point totals, Ron? You want to get us caught up to speed?
Easy for the Marauders, 15 for Hezekiah and 2 for Clark. And Clark just gets her third foul there.
It's the easy job of the night right there, isn't it?
And putting Kylie on the line with 12 in the first half, missing that first one there.
So we've established
22 points for Reed is what I've got in the first half, the leading scorer here.
22 for number 22.
Yes.
Taylor Smith, number 14, has 2 points. Anna Johansson with 1. Sarah Dominic, 2. And as you mentioned, Kylie Griffin had 12. She now has 13 as she hits the second of the 2 free throws. And that is where we stand, 40-17, as Lake Stevens looks like they are well on their way to their 18th victory, and more importantly, the game that will put them into the district championship game. Reagan Reed doesn't have enough points, apparently. She's going to go to the line trying to get 2 more.
Hey, Coach, if I'm in the game, I'm going to go try to score. And that's a great thing for her to do. The great thing I really like about Reed is she has really demonstrated an ability to score in a number of different ways. Has a couple threes, some good attacks, get to the free throw line, a couple baseline jumpers, but then also a lot of points coming in, some transition buckets, getting out ahead of the defense. Some great feeds by Griffin, but really impressed to see her score in a number of different ways.
Second free throw is up and in. Give her 24 now.
Definitely a nice ball player.
Starting to see players trickling in from Glacier Peak and Jackson. The boys' game coming up right after this, about 20 minutes after anyway, as they will battle it out to see who will get that second and final spot in the district championship game on Thursday. Kamiak boys defeating Monroe 57-50 earlier today, advancing to the championship. As Grebovic gets trapped in the corner, Corey Gibb decides he needs to take a quick timeout and uses his final 30.
Talk about Reagan Reed. I think that, she's a junior? And
Sophomore.
A sophomore? She's probably going to be a D1 ball player if she keeps progressing like she's doing now.
So Joel Boyer, you know a thing or two about D1, so you talk about her a little bit. And what?
She sure could be. It's always hard to tell when kids are younger, when they're growing up, but she definitely has a skill set that's going to be really attractive to a number of different college programs. Of course, Division I, Division II. She's definitely a great player. I think one of the important things for young athletes to look at and for young ball players to think about is go to a place that it treats you like a family, and it is a great place for you to go. Kylie Griffin's a great example. She had Stanford, she's some other Pac-12 schools all clamoring for her, but she's going to a place that she felt is a great fit for her and a great coaching staff that she can learn from. And so it's always important for a player like Reed, who's a younger player, going to have plenty of colleges looking at her. I mean, some already are, of course, but that she can pick the right place for her to go play and have a productive career, one that she really benefits and grows as an individual.
Absolutely important to go to that college that you're comfortable in.
Shot clock violation for Mariner, and so many players from this region and from Snohomish County going D1 the last few years. We saw 3 players from Glacier Peak alone last year, and Michaela Pivick from Linwood, she's going to be starting at the point tomorrow for Oregon State against the University of Washington over at Heckhead, and we've got 1 player already going D1 out here on this floor, and like you mentioned, potentially a second one later on down the road. And there's the one we were just talking about, Griffin. Nice pass there. Give Lacey Taylor a lot of credit for finding Kylie wide open underneath the hoop.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate in the last handful of years. 3A, 4A Wesco girls basketball has netted a number of great Division I college players, and there's even some that have gone on to Division II schools that are phenomenal players as well. I mean, you just look at a couple of years ago with the Glacier Peak Grizzlies in the state championship last year, the Snohomish Panthers in the state championship the year before that. The year before that, the Linwood Royals in the state championship game. So you've had a lot of great representation, and I believe the year before that was Arlington Eagles. I mean, so you've had a lot of great representation in the state tournament from Wesco Conference, led by some great individual players who've gone to some Division I careers that they're currently in right now.
Players that are spreading out too, which is kind of nice. Reagan Reed with another basket. She now has 26, and you see, Jordan Edwards, Colorado State. We've talked about Paisley Johnson, BYU, Sammy Fatkin over at Arizona. A player you coached, Maddie Smith, Montana State, having a nice little season there for the Bears.
A great season for them. Madison Pollock down at University of San Diego, another Snohomish Panther, or former Snohomish Panther. Kayla Watkins from Glacier Peak at Weber State University.
You know, one thing about that, guys, those kids are freshmen, and they're putting some time in on those teams.
Absolutely.
And that says a lot to get on a D1 team and put some time in the first year.
A few that are logging significant minutes right now.
Well, I know Maddie Smith actually at Montana State starting for them, and was earlier this season was the Montana State University Athlete of the Week, not just for basketball, but Athlete of the Week. So just a lot of players is really having some great moments, some great minutes, and enjoying a lot of time together.
And Missy Peterson, also Edmonds Woodway.
Absolutely.
She had a start for the University of Washington this year as a true freshman, originally committed to Long Beach State until the coach decided to head up to UW. She came with him. Hezekiah breakaway. Count the basket. She'll head to the line for one.
You know, Hannah Hezekiah is a player that, as we're talking about some other D1 talent that we have rolling out of this county, Hannah Hezekiah is a player that you look at her and if you just look, I don't know if she passes the eye test. If you just look at her, just kind of height and size and just speed, but she can do something that there's a lot of players that maybe are more athletic and pass the eye test. She can score the basketball, and that's something that at every level is just coveted. And so I look at her, and I don't know what her aspirations are future going on, but I look at her. She absolutely has the ability to go play at a D3 and NAIA school, maybe even bigger than that. You know, I think there's some coaches that say, hey, she can score the basketball, and we want kids that can score. But I look at her as just as an all-around player's game that could go someplace and have a very quiet, impressive career in college as well. So hopefully for her, she gets the opportunity to showcase that at the next level.
If she wants to, I think that's a great thing for her to do. She does. You're right, though. She doesn't really look like a basketball player on the court, but she plays like a basketball player.
Absolutely. And that's what I mean. And again, complimentary. So kind of that old man's game. She's not going to blow by you with amazing speed like we've kind of seen from Reagan Reed or the quickness of Kylie Griffin to go by you. But you know what? She puts the ball in the hoop and she gets the free throw line. She shoots things at a high percentage. Just really impressive. She uses what she has at a very high level.
By the way, Melania Galani making a basket a moment ago, her first of the night. Go ahead, Ron.
You probably know of a guy named used to play for Boston, a ball player who didn't look like a ball player.
There's been a few of those.
A few of them.
I'm thinking you're talking about number 33, I'm guessing.
I am, yeah. It's crazy.
Reagan Reed getting called for the offensive foul this time. And I don't want to sound like you're implying, and I know you're not, that Hannah Hezekiah doesn't look like she belongs on the court, because she definitely has a basketball build, right?
Absolutely. And that's definitely.
I just want to clarify, yeah.
Oh, completely, and thank you for doing so. I want to make sure that I have the utmost respect for her game, and as you know, for the Summer Panthers, just helping coach them in a handful of years, and we faced her as a freshman, and she scored a number of points against us just as a freshman, and it was difficult for us to contain in ways, and has a lot of talent, but just does so in a way that's very the game slows down for her. It's not that she plays at a slow pace. She lets the game slow down for her and come to her, and she's very efficient with what she does. 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. By the way, maybe a note of advice for Lena Gonzalez. You might want to be careful when you drive the lane when Kylie Griffin's in there. She's ready to go. And the Griffinator's lurking around the hoop, and she will swat things with authority.
That ball, I think, is still 2 or 3 rows up in the stands there, towards the Marauder band right now, as Griffin just came in with authority. 48-20 is our score. I do love the environment here. The fact that you've got 2 end zones with bleachers, you've got 2 bands that were willing to come out, and we appreciate that. It certainly adds to the ambiance, if you will. And the game may not be quite as exciting as we'd like, but certainly the festivities feel that way. And both of these bands are having a good time tonight.
Absolutely, and I always love seeing it. Bands that are supportive of each other. One band breaks into a song that everyone knows. They're singing along. They're getting excited for the other one, and then it's kind of back and forth answering each other. So, hey, it's a great environment.
Great environment. The basketball game continues. Lake Stevens, 12 minutes and 20 seconds away from punching their ticket to a showdown with the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, team that won by 43 earlier today. Those two teams playing twice on the season as Hezekiah misses the long 3. Lake Stevens winning the first matchup by 9, 50-41, and then they won the second one, 66-58.
There we go.
Hezekiah looking to push ahead. Behind the back even. Underhand scoop. Can't quite get it to fall. Bounces around. Kylie Griffin couldn't come away with it. Her teammate, however, was.
And who's going to score this one?
Reagan Reed gets the push up from number 12, Savannah Smith, with the pass. Nicely done by Savannah. And Reagan will go back to the line.
I'm just trying to remember all the other D1 players I'm forgetting that have come out of Wesco right now. I mean, there's so many more than what we've even mentioned here. I'm disappointed in myself for not remembering all of them.
You just trying to do District 1 or Division 1 in your head, or what are you?
I'm thinking through all of them right now, and I'm sure my phone's going to start blowing up from other coaches I know. You're going to be like,
well,
how'd you forget my girl? Come on.
Caprice Boston, Northern Arizona
Absolutely.
last year.
There's another one.
A really nice ball player.
Kelsey, a girl from Jackson.
Kelly Kingma is at UW,
yeah.
but she unfortunately had to have a medical retirement at the end of last year due to some wrist injuries, but what a phenomenal player she was.
Yeah, did play with D1, though.
Absolutely. Sierra Anderson coming out with Kelly Kingma at the same time. She went to Montana, University of Montana, actually. Kristen Stoffel, also out of that Jackson High School program, went to Seattle U.
Correct. Taryn Shelley last year from
Taryn
Shorewood.
Shelley
She's playing at Washington State right now.
Absolutely.
You're probably up to about 95% now.
There's quite a few.
My friends.
No, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun to watch these ladies over the years and to certainly go down to the Tacoma Dome and watch the success they're having. And you look at a team like Stanwood with 3 girls going to play college basketball next year, albeit not Division I, but certainly strong Division II programs.
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, you look at Kelsey Rogers from a strong Linwood team a couple of years ago. She's at Western playing there, and that's
doing well too.
A great program to go to, playing for Carmen Dolfo. Ashley Alter, you just mentioned, from Stanwood High School. They had a win last night over the Arlington Eagles to get to the semifinals for the 3A district tournament. Ashley Alter will be heading to play for Julie Heisey at SPU next year.
Go Falcons.
There you go. Go Falcons.
Give a little love to my alma mater.
Absolutely. But there's just a real talented. I mean, I think we kind of take for granted the amount of talent of girls basketball that we have in this area of the state that we're just really fortunate to get to see on a nightly basis in any given game.
Kalani gets in there, misses the shot, gets her own rebound, goes right back up, puts it in. And you even think about like a Central Washington where you start to look at their roster. Last year, I think I saw 3 or 4 different Wesco players.
Yep, and they're going to be gaining another one in Peyton Brown from Arlington.
That's
who
right.
I was watching last night play. She's going to play for Coach Randy Richardson, who graduated from Arlington High School. I'll bring it back to this game. Played for Corey Gibb in high school at Arlington.
There we go.
I knew I'd get back to this game at some point.
We got another Edwards sister over there, Jasmine, playing there, and I believe Sadie Mensing, I think, still might be there from
Sadie Mensing.
Treasure Peak. Nicely done, Hezekiah. Only gets 2 points for the basket. Should get additional for style points, however.
Absolutely.
And got fouled and didn't get called.
20 of the 22 points now for Mariner. All from Hannah Hezekiah. Nice little cross up there.
Oh, boy.
Reagan Reed, beautiful move. Twice. Gets by 2 defenders and lays it in.
That's a D1 move.
30 points now for Reagan Reed.
You're going to have a hard time not making her player of the game.
I think we've probably already come to that conclusion. I don't think we have a choice right now. Hezekiah.
Don't let her get loose.
Misses the shot. Savannah Smith comes away with it, pushes it ahead. Reagan Reed, what do you say? Nice pass. Kylie Griffin, reverse layup, count it. Everything going the Vikings' way right now.
Good things happen when you can get the ball out and run. Now it's important to make great decisions, and Reagan Reed had a great decision right there to get the ball to Kylie Griffin. You want to make sure you don't make a poor decision in the open court, but when you can get the ball out and get it to your ball handlers and get moving, good things can oftentimes happen.
Hey, getting the ball to Kylie Griffin is never really a bad decision, right?
I have yet to see it be a bad decision in my career of watching her play.
Reagan Reed, hey, you could almost say that was a pass to Griffin. Griffin takes the lob, if you will, puts it up from 12 feet out.
Takes the block shot pass.
19 points for Griffin. I have to count those up quickly there. A lot of 2s and free throw attempts on my score sheet there. Enough to where you have to add them up. Maybe a little bit of a travel there almost as Hawkins shuffled her feet.
I think she did.
36-point game. They'll let that one slide, right?
I think you're going to let this go a little bit here.
Reagan Reed with a steal. Here we go. 3-on-2. Tries to pass it into the lane off of Grebovic's leg. Right back to her. Misses the shot. Savannah Smith there for the board. Shot clock and game clock 1 second apart. Not going to matter after this one. 3 ball is off.
Oh.
Clark pulls down the rebound and gets fouled in the process.
Get
a handful of players checking in for Mariner. Daisha Kim will come back into the game. For Lake Stevens, Kaylee Bracey coming back in, number 40, as well as Anna Johansson, 24.
Kylie Griffin's going to sit down, take a rest. Probably play a little bit in the fourth quarter, and that's probably it.
I'm not even sure we'll see Callie Griffin or Reagan Reed come back in the fourth. Maybe.
You've got 4 days off now, or 3 days off. You play in 4 days as Hezekiah puts up a shot. And Joel, as a coach, do you maybe play them a little longer knowing that you don't want them to – I guess, you're not too worried. What's the difference between playing at 3:30 and 3:40 on a Saturday afternoon, right? Do you want to get them a few more minutes knowing that you got a few days off or no?
I would rather not, for the simple fact that it's not the legs but the injury. Just the – Lake Stevens Vikings have had a phenomenal season. It's going to continue on. I never want to write things off, but when there's a 36-point difference in this game, let's start talking about the future. The Vikings, like I said, have a great talented array of players, but if either Reed or Griffin were to go down, that could definitely impact the rest.
You know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family. That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
And here we are back again at Marysville Pilchuck High School. The Lake Stevens Vikings are now 8 minutes away from advancing into the District 1 4A Girls Basketball Championship game, where they will no doubt face the Glacier Peak Grizzlies in what should be a fun Thursday night affair. 6 p.m. Everett CC. But we still have a few more minutes of basketball to play as Talia Clark kicks it out to Daisha Kim. Should also remind everybody this is not Mariners' last game. They will move into the consolation bracket. Hezekiah kicking it out to Grebovic. 4-year teammates, 4-year starters, and Grebovic, she gets herself on the board for the first time tonight with a 3. Mariner looks to be playing Kamiak. That game will be at 3 o'clock on Tuesday. Loser out game. If you win that game, you still have to play again on Thursday at 3 o'clock, and if you win that game, you will be playing in the second place game on Saturday at noon.
Boy,
so
talk about letting them play. There's banging going on down there. There's no calls. There's flapping.
Indeed. So in other words, Joel, a lot of basketball to be played left still in the consolation bracket.
Absolutely.
You got to win 3 times now.
No, and that's not a hard thing when you only have 2 seeds from the 4A District 1 going on.
Yeah, we got Mariner girl out there, 7 to 34. That's Nina. She's got like a contact problem, I think. She got poked in the eye there.
And Nia Hawkins, who I think just might have dropped a contact, is the assistant coach helping her pick that up.
These are those opportunities when you have, you look at only two schools coming out going to the state tournament. It's not easy, but at the same time, this is what you play for. This is playoff basketball, and let's give some credit to Hannah Hezekiah, Daniela Grebovic, both of them. There's other players along the way, and I don't want to take away from those, but we've already talked. Those are two 4-year starters, and you look at the job that Corey Gibb is able to do, especially with those 2 players with them. They've been able to improve from year to year to year. It's been really impressive to see that Mariner girls basketball program just improve as they go. And it's been exciting to see. You always want to see teams that maybe are struggling a little bit with a culture or a winning culture to be able to find that. And to their credit, I really feel they've improved every year, and that's great for those 2 players to be able to reap some benefits of that.
And it shows in the standings here. Their freshman year, these are league games only, 3-11. Mm-hmm. Sophomore year, they were 4-10. Junior year, last season, 5-9. This year, 7-7, 13-win season for them.
And you look at you've improved every single year. 1 win, 2 wins, 2 wins, and that's the thing is it doesn't happen overnight. And you're playing in a Wesco 4A girls conference that is loaded with talent. We just walked through all those college players that come out of the 3A 4A conference, but you're playing a conference that's loaded with talents and college talents, and yet you're still able to win those 7 games. You're still able to win more. Oh, I think I lost my bet. I see Griffin and Reed coming back to the score table to check in. Double or nothing, they get less than 2 minutes.
Grebovic, we'll take a look as we will now keep something for us to keep an eye on, right?
Absolutely.
6:31 showing left here in the fourth quarter. Grebovic with a 3, misses it. We're still looking for our first points from either team in the period. And as you mentioned, the 2 of them are going to check back in, as is number 32, Samaya Morin. So we're going to take a look at the clock. 6:26 to go.
We got 2 minutes to bet on this, right? Double or nothing.
There'll be less than 2 minutes.
What do you say there, Mr. Ron Hemthorne? Do you think he's right, or is he?
I'm not going to argue with it. I think I'd give him at least 2 minutes. It kind of depends on where that timeout's going to happen.
I'm a little surprised they're back in there, to be honest. We'll see what they're doing here. Hey, maybe Reagan wants to pad those stats a little bit. She's already got.
Well, I already know she wants to pad those stats, as does every player on the court probably. But it's just important to make sure you go injury free. And we saw possession a couple possessions ago. It was a little ratty at the best, But and those are the possessions you just don't want to see any player go down. Star player, role player, bench player. You don't want to see anybody go down with an injury.
Nice pass by Griffin down low to Johansson. Almost wonder if that wasn't even intended for her, but it worked. Does not get the basket, however. Speaking of somebody who's looking to pad some stats, Hannah Hezekiah into the lane. Underhand shot.
And they're letting her play because she got fouled on that shot, too.
I'm guessing Joel Boyer's happy with the non-whistle there. That's not exactly a great basketball move. Nonetheless, it doesn't get called. And there's what you're talking about right there, Joel. Kylie Griffin with a lot of contact there. You don't want to see the star get hurt in a 33-point game.
No. And that was a clean play. There's nothing dirty about that. That's just a clean basketball play, but a lot of contact. And going to the
they
floor.
might be coming out right now.
Let's see who these two players are in for. Griffin hits the first free throw.
Nope. They're staying.
Coach Randy Eaton's putting 4 of his 5 starters back in the game, it looks like.
I've got Griffin down unofficially with 19 points right now. We are, in fact, as Todd Elvick points out, we're getting close to a running clock. Getting a little closer now. Griffin now with 20. She and Reagan Reed combining for 50 of the 60 points for the Vikings.
And that's a lot of points, obviously, but that's you have other scores in that Vikings team. That's not unlike the way the season has gone for those two. It's having a lot of opportunities.
Reed wants the ball.
Actually, 21 points. I shorted Kylie just now.
Yeah,
there's a basket as Taylor Smith gets on the board once again. She now has 4 on the night. 62-25, 3 points away from a running clock. Oh, Kylie Griffin just says, Talia Clark, sorry, freshman, not going to let you have that one. Picks it away. Trying to thread the needle there. The pass gets knocked out of bounds, and Lake Stevens will keep it. 25 left on the shot clock, 5:10 left on the game clock. Joel, so far we're a minute 17 into your prediction, so we'll see. Nobody yet at the score table for the Vikings. Kylie up on top.
I've been wrong before, Steve.
Lacey Taylor, well, you still have time. You can still get this one. Morin down low gets it swatted away from Hezekiah. Reagan Reed and Hezekiah both hitting the deck. A scramble for it. Now we're going to get a jump ball called.
A held ball.
Or held ball called, as Ron likes to point out.
I'll help you out every time I can.
Coming back into the game, or coming into the game, I should say, number 24, Tina Duanmany.
We haven't seen her yet tonight. She's going to give Clark a break here.
We'll see if Talia comes back in at some point or not with 4:46 left. Duanmany, a 5'9" sophomore. Speaking of sophomores, Reagan Reed.
And she nails the 3.
Count it. 33 points for Reed, and that puts us up to a running clock, 65-55 score. Both of our semifinal girls basketball games running clock today.
65-25. That is a lot of points, and here goes the bench.
Wow.
She's definitely both the players are coming out as 5 new Vikings players are lined up ready to come in.
Depends on when that timeout comes, whether you win or not here.
He's already lost. We're already beyond the 2-minute mark. It was 6:26, and now we're showing 4:10. But you had the right ballpark anyway, perhaps. Grebevec being double-teamed, and she's going to run out of time there. Shot clock once again expiring. And for a moment there, I thought, why are they not shutting off the game clock?
I was going to say, I think I was right. I just had a running clock. It got attached.
Oh, there you go.
I was wrong. I missed it. I was
going to try to play along with you there and help you out.
Thank you. You're a good man, Steve.
5 new Vikings coming into the game right now. We've got number 12, Savannah Smith. Looks like number 30, Sarah Dominic is back in. 32, Samaya Morin. Also number 40, Kaylee Bracey coming back in, as well as number 20, Grace Burke getting her first action, the sophomore. We get a full timeout. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get you the final 3 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll also have a player of the game interview courtesy of Speedway Chevrolet. You're watching STSPN.com.
Frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At G&S, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
She makes. I got 3 free throws. She got 4.
4, yep. Here we go. We are back in play here. 65-25 is our score. Lake Stevens looking for more. Foul is called. No, they're going to call a travel as number 40, Kaylee Bracey, slicing into the lane. It's a nice problem to have when we have 2 guys keeping score up here, and there's so many points coming out of Reagan Reed. We're not sure if she has 32 or 33. We could split the difference and give her 32 and a half, and I think that's still a pretty good afternoon for her.
It sounds like a Vegas odd all of a sudden right there.
Let's take the over on Reagan Reed today, right?
I'll take the over.
And take a steal off of the head of Daisha Kim into the hands of Lacey Taylor. She kicks it ahead to her teammate who can't finish. That was Sarah Dominic. 2:49 remaining.
Not used to running that kind of a play.
The off-the-head steal play?
Yeah.
A little unique there. That's number 42, Melissa Perry, coming in for the first time today. Perry is a 5'9" junior, as both teams now starting to allow their benches to play a little bit more. Melissa Chantha, 5'7" guard, number 15 in for Mariner. I believe it's her second time in the game today. Rebound for Smith.
And we're also getting our first look.
Another Griffin.
First look at freshman Kendra Griffin, the younger sister of Kylie Griffin, the star senior for the Vikings. Kendra, just a freshman, clocking in at 6'4" tall.
Yeah, she is taller than her big sister already. Mm-hmm. Griffin, a pretty darn good volleyball player in her own right, I understand.
Is that her or twin? Because she has a twin sister who is not a basketball player but a volleyball player.
We had that's interesting. I remember we had Kaylee and their father Dexter in the studio with us for Prep Sports Weekly one night on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO. Little shout out. I thought they were talking about Kendra being a volleyball player, so I could be wrong on that.
And she might also be.
You got a 50-50 chance of being wrong.
Hey, well, you know what? They could both be, so maybe less than 50% chance of being wrong on that one. I would, if I were a volleyball coach at Lake Stevens, if I could have 2 Griffins, I'd take that over 1.
Oh, I'm pretty sure volleyball coach Kyle Hoagland was saying, hey, I'll take any Griffins.
Hoagland had a pretty nice season himself.
He
Lily
absolutely did.
Eason, player of the year this year, going to Seattle University next season.
Yes.
Be close to playing near her brother, I guess, right?
Yes, with her brother Jacob Skinny Eason coming to the University of Washington. Excited for all those Husky fans. Go Dogs.
You know what? We're up by 42 when the talk goes all the way from volleyball to Seattle University all the way over to Skinny Eason, right?
Yeah, well.
Kendra's going to get her a chance to see if she can shoot free throws here, guys.
Let's
see if the lefty stroke can hold true for her.
Big sister is 7 for 8 at the line tonight. Let's see if she can keep the streak going for the Griffins. Ooh.
You should lean
just
forward,
a
little bit. She can dunk it, man.
If that rim was 14 feet away, I think that would have been a swish.
Unfortunately, it's 15 feet away, though.
Very true.
Rattle, drop.
There we go. Redeemed herself there. 8 for 10. Especially after you airball the first, you really want to get that one to go at the second one.
Always nice to drop the second one down. Absolutely. I wouldn't know anything about that, Steve, but
yeah,
I've heard it's really nice to drop the second one down.
You and me both. At least the Griffin dinner will be a little bit easier to handle tonight when they're celebrating this victory. She can
celebrate a great team win for the Vikings tonight.
Say that she got up on the board. Ball that does catch a rim. 3-point shot up in the air. That was Duanmany. 25 seconds, and the clock continues to run.
It'll run out here.
It more than likely will. We're down to 20 and counting. Again, running clock, so we'll see if they even get an inbound. Finally, the referees need to confer real quick, so they're going to stop the clock.
They should have stopped it.
Oh,
They should have stopped it on out of bounds. They got to put like 22 seconds back on the clock or something.
They shouldn't have to stop it, though, right? It's a running clock. Riyaj Kanji holding the basketball over there along the baseline.
Let's see who
Daisha
wins.
Kim just kind of shuffling those feet like, let's just get this thing over with. And I think, you know who else I think wants to get this game over with? Glacier Peak and Jackson boys coming up next. That'll be a fun game to watch tonight.
You know, I wonder if we can get the Mariner and Lake Stevens bands to stick around for that next game.
Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be awesome.
They're running the clock down to 2 seconds now, but I think they're trying to get it to 22 seconds.
I'd like to know what Corey Gibb is saying to Riyaj Kanji right now. Are you going to let us inbound this or what? They're going to put it 26 on the clock. Okay, why not? Let them play a little bit.
Well,
you got the bench players. They want their time in the sun there. And Savannah Smith is happy that they put more time on. She gets a block shot out of it, but She ends up going to the ground, and now we're getting. Now the clock's running.
The only problem is that clock should have run the whole time. Raj Kanji didn't realize we're at a running clock. We have been for the last 3.5 minutes, bub.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he made a mistake.
Daisha Kim, she's going to get the final
foul.
shot. 2 seconds. One.
Talk about
Paris with the final shot. Doesn't go in, and we've come to the conclusion of the second and final semifinal game of the afternoon in girls play. The Lake Stevens Vikings pulling out the 68-25 victory over Mariner. And I believe Todd Elvick has informed me that Reagan Reed has been notified that she is our player of the game.
He has.
There we go. So she will be coming up.
Who notified her?
Maybe we'll ask her. Wasn't me. I don't know. Maybe we'll ask her if she knows how many points she has tonight. 32 or 33. I don't know if I'm always curious when I talk to players, and we've talked to some of them before. When you have a 40 or 50-point night,
You have four.
some of them know that they have it. Some of them don't.
Do you have 4 free throws for her?
Todd Elvick's instructing me here with the shirt, so we'll see what she has here. Either way, she's got over 30. We got the right shirt there, Todd? Okay. Oh, I see what he's saying. Okay. Different shirts for the boys and girls, making sure we have the right shirt for her.
Yeah. V-neck. Long's got a V-neck.
And
She's coming up here.
team is still there. We go. Reagan's coming on up here now. 24 minutes left on the clock before the next game. And we'll keep it short. I know that we're going to get Reagan on here right now. KRKO's waiting for her too. She's a very popular lady, and why not? When you score over 30 points and you help your team advance to the district championship game, why not? Reagan Reed, congratulations. What a first half from you. I think we had you down for 22 in that half. Tell us a little bit about the first 16 minutes.
It was what?
There we go. I can hear you better.
The first 16 minutes. It was just, I think we were just all really excited to play. And, I mean, we're back in this position for like the 3rd year in a row. So we're just ready to, just get to the championship and keep moving forward.
We were talking earlier, too. You were scoring all different sorts of ways. You were getting steals. You were doing breakaways and having Kylie hit you in transition. Tell us a little bit about that aspect of your game.
Well, in the summer, me and Kylie, when we would play teams, we wouldn't even have to run anything. Like, I would just sprint out the court and she'd throw it to me, and we were on the bench, and I was like, yo, this feels just like summer ball. Like, it was just fun. Like, we love to play fast, and we don't like to set up stuff.
So talk to me. Great game today, obviously, absolutely. Glacier Peak Grizzlies next up. Talk to me about, you guys faced them twice. Pretty good games. I know they're a little closer. You guys have had a lot of non-close games, but those are 2 games that were a little bit closer for you. What do you look to see from them?
It's gonna be tough, because last game we had to come back from a lot, and we just have to be more focused this game and better decisions all around, and just be more prepared than we were. Like, I feel like we kind of like walked into that game like not like we were focused, but we didn't think much of it. But that was a mistake on our part, so we just have to be more focused this game.
Sure, it's playoff basketball. Anything can happen now, so you got to be ready for it.
And again, we mentioned already, not only did you score, depending on whose sheet you look at, 32 or 33 points, probably 32, I think. Ron's better at keeping those stats than me. 32 points and also 2 interviews because KRKO is waiting for you. We're also going to give you the Speedway Chevrolet Player of the Game, and you earned that today. So Reagan will have you hold that up real quick there. And Reagan's got a nice little collection of these shirts going now too as well. Reagan with the shirt, and more importantly with the victory. Congratulations on a big win, and best of luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reagan.
All right, we'll let Reagan head on over there as she takes her way over towards the 1380 table there.
Thank you.
And we'll keep this short again because, as we mentioned before, it's a quadruple header sort of a day, and we've got a 4th game coming up. A game that Ron Henthorne will have along with our friends Scott and Tim here in a few minutes. But final thoughts, guys, from watching these 2 teams. I think not a big surprise for anybody. We kind of thought it was going to be Glacier Peak and Lake Stevens heading into the championship game. As Joel Vincent, the football coach at Jackson, comes up to say hello. We kind of thought it was going to be a Glacier Peak, Lake Stevens championship matchup, and that's exactly what we got.
Yeah, but it sure turned out that way. A great game by the Vikings, a well-balanced team. And unfortunate for the Mariner Marauders that they just didn't put any points on the board tonight, even though they played strong.
Mariner again facing Kamiak later this week, and we mentioned this as well. The 2 teams playing twice during the season. They split, one team winning 1 game by 3, the other one winning by 2. And Joel, I mean, you've been in this situation before too. You lose a game and you head to the consolation bracket. Not a lot of chance to sulk. You have to get ready to go, don't you?
Absolutely. You get about maybe the bus ride home. and then it's moving on to the next game and moving on to the next focus and making sure you have practice plans ready to go and you get your players focused to the point of saying, hey, we're still in this, we're still alive. There's a lot of teams that wish they were us right now, that we're still had another game to play, and hey, we're very fortunate we're one of them. Let's go see what kind of magic we can make happen for the next game.
Should be a great game. 3 p.m. start Tuesday, and Todd Elvick, I'm looking for confirmation. I think that game might be broadcasted as well. The Tuesday games at Everett CC? Or is that still – He's saying yes, so I think that game will be on STSPN. If not, or if you want to get out there, certainly go and support the ladies and watch the Kamiak Mariner game. It's going to be a full day, a full slate of games happening over at Everett CC on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for that matter. So certainly stay tuned and find out which games are playing when, and get out there and support these teams. It was a lot of fun today for us, certainly. And Ron, you're not done. You're going to be on that call coming up. Glacier Peak, Jackson, the boys, 20 minutes away. We'll take a break right now. When we come back, Ron, in about, I guess,
20 minutes.
About 15 minutes or, 17 minutes. You, Scott Oshman, Tim Boyle on the call for what should be a fun game. Looking forward to that one, aren't we?
Should be a great game. These guys know each other really well, and it could go either way. So this is going to be a tough game for both of them.
So in other words, don't go very far. Tune out now and tune back in a little bit. So again, Joel Boyer, thank you very much for coming and doing
Thanks again. Really appreciate both of you guys.
Doubleheader.
Thanks, Joel.
Good to have Joel joining us, and Ron Henthorn. Todd Elvick, again, the 5-tool player, handling all of the equipment and the production. My name is Steve Willits. Thank you for watching. This is STSPN.com.